Nailed it. Okay, welcome to another lovely day in England. It's raining and, well, it's not raining, it's just wet and miserable, as usual. But yeah, today, well, it was actually a few days ago, but I'm filming this intro now. Let's pretend it's today, right? Today, we're going to be fitting a hydraulic handbrake to the GT86. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what a hydraulic handbrake is, it's basically a big lever that sits about here. Or you can put it wherever you want, but most people have it between the steering wheel and the gear stick, or to the left of the gear stick, whatever, somewhere around here. And you pull it and it locks the rear wheels instantly, and it's basically exactly the same as a normal handbrake, but it uses hydraulic fluid rather than a cable, like most handbrakes do. And it normally acts on the brake calipers, like the discs and pads that you normally would use with your foot brake, as opposed to being like a crappy little drum brake or something like the normal handbrake normally is. And also, it's got no lock or anything. If you wanted to pull a handbrake to do a mad skid, you'd have to like press the button in, pull it up, put it down, let go of the button. With this, it's just literally a lever that you just pull and let go, and it just springs back and it unlocks. So you don't need to do anything. It's a lot quicker and easier. It's basically for drifting only. There's no use for it in a normal car. It's just to lock the rear wheels instantly to initiate a drift. So yeah, sit back and watch us do a terrible job of installing stuff, as usual. Right, today we're installing a hydraulic handbrake, as my lovely assistant will now demonstrate. We don't really know where we're mounting it yet, do we? I mean, I don't. You've got a good idea.
Yeah, sort of. We need to get everything out of the way and trim panels and everything.
All this plastic's probably coming off and probably not going back on. And then we're thinking mount it like here, like on the side, but I think that's going to get in the way of the steering wheel and the gear shift too much, but we'll see. Oh, and if you notice, the garage looks a bit different. We're plastering it, which you might have already seen in another video. I don't know what order we're going to upload these in. But yeah, that's the task for today, is install a hydraulic handbrake for mad skids. So, let's go. So, this has turned into strip the entire car, which was not really what I expected, but yeah, that's what we're doing.
Have you got a stapler?
It's got what?
See? He's asking for staplers, we've got no seats, he's taking the carpet up.
Wow.
This has got extreme, hasn't it?
Taking the carpet?
I know! It's not just me, is it?
Stapler?
Well, I don't think we need to take the carpet out.
There's something fine.
What's your plan? What's your plan?
The reason for taking the carpet out is because he wants to weld stuff and he thinks it'll set on fire if we
I need
have
to
carpet
tack
in.
weld.
Haggard Garage do a better job than this.
It's nearly out though. It's like...
So hang on, it's not nearly out, you've got to staple it back in, I've not got a stapler. So we were debating whether we should pull this bit of carpet up, and while we were debating, Bolio just pulled it up anyway.
I really like what you've done with the interior.
It looks a lot better, doesn't it?
It does. Vast improvement.
It's not staying like this though, is it? Well, it pretty much is, to be fair. We're putting the carpet back in, that's about it. I just want to point out that he told me it was all going to look nice, all just fit in with the stock interior. Now we're taking the whole fucking thing apart. You sold me out a treat there, haven't you?
I lied a little bit.
Just to get them.
Purely because I really wanted to put hydraulic handbrake in it.
Yeah, we've got to drill some holes somewhere to fit the brake lines, haven't we?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that bit either, did you?
No.
Right, these are out, so do you want to mark up where the holes are going to be on there?
Yep.
And then we'll get drilling.
Sweet.
So much more to say, so much more, so much
Right, seats are back in. We've managed to kind of bodge this well enough so that we can actually keep this bit, the gear surround and the gear, what do you call it? Gear boot? Gear stick boot? Gear gator? I don't know. Gator. The gator. So yeah, we weren't expecting to be able to actually keep this bit. We thought we'd have to hack a notch out of this, which we did at the bottom, but the top bit is actually still intact, so we're all good. It's gone pretty well, really, isn't it?
It's gone alright.
It's gone well. Like, we weren't expecting that bit to look as nice as it does, were we?
No, not in the slightest.
Because earlier in the video, we were planning not to even put any of this back on because we didn't think it fit. But we've done it and we made it work. So yeah, it's gone pretty well. Obviously the brake line itself isn't in yet, but that'll be the next job. For now, it's in, it fits.
It's custom.
You can change gear, it's custom. Body owner's happy because it's custom, he loves custom. And yeah, I think we're all good. We can give it a test run. Right, I guess part 2, or maybe in this video, will be installing the actual lines, which I'm still not quite sure how we're going to do that. You reckon that's going to be the easier bit, don't you?
That's the easy bit, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be. We'll see. Okay, so it's all mounted now, as you can see, and we are going to cover up this side bit down here. Don't know whether you can see that, but yeah, it's in from the passenger side. It looks pretty damn good. It looks pretty tidy. As you can see, we've not plumbed it in yet, and there's a reason for that. The problem is, normally, when the ABS kicks in, there's 4 lines that go from the ABS pump, which is obviously behind here in the engine bay. There's 4 lines that go from there, 1 to each brake on each wheel. Now the problem is, to get this to work, we're going to have to merge the 2 lines that go to the rear wheels into here. It's kind of back with the front, that's the input, that's the output. So the 2 lines will come in from the ABS pump to there. One, obviously we'll merge them into 1 line, go in there, come out there, and then we'll split them back off to 2 lines when they go to each wheel. That sounds fine, that would make this work fine, but the problem is, when the ABS tries to kick in, say it wants to just brake the rear left wheel, it can't brake individual wheels now because it's all just getting merged into one. So when it sends fluid down one line, it'll end up going to both because they get merged together here and back there. Which Yoda thinks is going to be a pretty big problem. I didn't think that sounded that bad really, but he says it's going to make it like really sketchy. So I think what most people do is they just get rid of ABS, because if you put a hydraulic handbrake in normally it's because it's a full-on drift car. Whereas I'm kind of in this middle ground of it's still a road car, it still needs to pass an MOT, still needs to be legal and easy to drive on the road, and then I also want to do drift days in it. So kind of in this awkward middle ground really, which not many people go in, I don't think. So the solutions, the potential solutions are, we either get rid of ABS, which I don't want to do because then you lose brake bias as well, and it throws up all sorts of problems with the ECU, and I don't think it's legal. I don't think it would pass an MOT if it came with ABS and you take ABS off. Need to look into that, but I don't think it would. And also then obviously you haven't got ABS, which ABS is kind of handy sometimes. So the other solution is to have 2 calipers on the rear. So you have the normal brake line setup, which we don't change at all. So the ABS pump and everything would just work as normal. It wouldn't come through here basically. The normal brake lines wouldn't touch any of this. You'd have separate brake fluid, which would go in here, and a separate line that goes to 2 extra calipers on the back basically, that comes from here. Problem with that is, all of the setups I found that sort of mount an extra caliper to the rear require you to get rid of the stock handbrake, because it's like a drum brake inside the rear discs. I don't actually know why some of them need it removing, but they all say will not work with the stock OEM handbrake. So the problem with that then is that is also illegal. You can't have a car without a locking handbrake and have it on the road. So that won't pass an MOT either. So yeah, the current plan, and this might change because we haven't completely sorted this out yet, but current plan is to get a dual caliper set up, but instead of using the discs that come with it that don't have room for the drum brake shoe bit to press against, we get separate discs that are the same size but that do have the drum brake bit. I don't know if that's going to work because there's probably a reason why none of these kits come with one that has the drum brake part. So I don't know, I'm speaking to people who make the dual caliper setup at the moment to see if that's going to be possible. They've not replied yet, so we'll see what happens there. To get a dual caliper setup, the one that I've seen is like 1,500 quid or something. You can get cheaper ones, you can get just like a mounting bracket and then you buy extra calipers and extra pads. But again, it all adds up, so it's going to get fucking expensive. But we were going to upgrade the rear brakes at some point anyway, so yeah, it's kind of killing two birds with one stone. That's how I'm justifying it in my head. That's how I'm justifying it. So that'll do for this video. We'll do a second part when we plumb it all in and get it all working. But for now, it's just sat here looking pretty and costing me a lot of money to not do a lot. So yeah, tune in next time when we do something else really badly and half-assed.